Hello viewers, welcome to episode 2 of the ZeldaCast. I'm Jeremy and with me as always, Graydon Penner. Thanks for coming back, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Before we get started today, I have a bit of unfinished business to take care of with you.
Oh.
In regards to the first episode of the ZeldaCast, I wanted to say I'm sorry for bringing up the Zelda CDI games.
It is all good, man. It is A-okay. It is all good now.
Good.
We can put that behind us.
Excellent.
And look towards the future.
Yes, speaking of the future, we're here live in Winnipeg, just overlooking the Forks and the Esplanade Real. I hope I said that right. But for today's episode of the ZeldaCast, we're actually going to be taking a trip into Hyrule to talk about Ocarina of Time. So, let's go! Woo! Look at that landscape. It is so beautiful.
All those polygons look beautiful.
And speaking of beautiful, Ocarina of Time's one hell of a game, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It was one of the first video games I ever played, and it was just breathtaking.
Yes. Well, since it was your first game, or one of the first, I'll give you the floor with this one.
Well, see, the first game I ever played was Mario, and then when I went to the GameCube and played Ocarina of Time on my Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, I was just blown away by how beautiful a 3D landscape could look.
Is that right?
Oh, it was just insanely gorgeous. I remember my 7-year-old mind going, kind of just exploding with happiness.
I actually had the chance to play the N64 version first.
I'm so jealous. I never got the chance to play the N64. We skipped that era.
Oh, that is a shame.
Yeah, I know. I've missed a lot of golden oldies, but I'm just really mad that I miss Ocarina. It's just so good. Except for the Water Temple. The Water Temple is the only downside I've found to that game.
Really?
The Water Temple.
Okay, this ought to be good. I think a lot of us agree that the Water Temple should not have been included because of the stress it gives you. But specifically...
7 years old, I was stuck on it for years. I believe it took me till I was about 9 years old to beat it by myself.
9 years old?
It took me 2 years to beat
What's wrong with you?
I was 7. It was one of my first video games. I didn't know how to solve puzzles yet.
You mean you never had any jigsaw puzzles as a kid?
No, never.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Although there is one positive I can talk about when it comes to the Water Temple.
Oh, what's this?
The battle with Dark Link.
Oh, Dark Link. Best part of that temple.
Although it's tough to beat him just like it was in the Adventure of Link.
Oh, yeah. I never played the Adventure of Link. I know I'm getting through it right now, but it is a hard game.
Absolutely.
But the fight with Dark Link in Ocarina of Time is one I remember. I would save my game right before the fight so I could just go back and refight him all the time and just watch me as I stabbed. And he would just backflip onto my sword, just like, sup, and then stab me again and then jump off.
Well, I found a way to actually get around that.
Oh.
Din's Fire.
Ah. That's actually really smart.
It seems kind of cheap, but it actually does the job.
I know
that is unless, of course, you run out of magic and have nothing to refill with. Then you're pretty much up the creek.
Unless...
Of course I say up Zora's River.
Haha, that's genius. Unless you're like me and I cheesed it with the Megaton Hammer.
Megaton Hammer? That never occurred to me.
Yeah, I know. I was running out of ideas. I was like, hey, look, Megaton Hammer. Let's just spam this, hit the ground, and kill him.
You know what would make that fight a lot easier, too?
What?
The Goron Sword.
Oh, the Goron Sword. See, I never got that the first time through. I only got it on my third playthrough of it because I couldn't comprehend all the time limits and do it in...
And I cannot even begin to imagine how many people got so upset when they got the Giant's Knife thinking that was the Goron Sword, and then it broke after 4 swings.
Yep. I'm one of those.
Same
one of those
here.
people. I was like, oh, 200 rupees for a new sword? Okay, let's get this. Oh. Now it's an actual knife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get away from gameplay mechanics
Yeah.
and focus more on story of Ocarina of Time.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Absolutely. For me personally, the big sell point of Ocarina of Time is the beginning where Ganondorf manages to find his way into the Sacred Realm and get his hands on the Triforce. As we all know, you need to have your heart in perfect balance to be able to claim the full Triforce. But since Ganondorf was a power-mad fiend, he only had the Triforce of Power, and the other two went their ways.
I know. The first time playing through it, I didn't understand that cutscene when you pulled out the Master Sword and he was talking to you. And then now replaying it again, I think it was 4 years ago, when I replayed it and actually read the text and understood it, it's like, I'm the one who gave him the Triforce of Power. Me as Link gave him the ability to get the Triforce and destroy Hyrule. It's just like, why? I'm the harbinger of the apocalypse.
And it also gives a bit of a better understanding on the backstory of the Gerudo race as a whole, because we all know the Gerudo are predominantly female.
Oh, yeah.
Once every 100 years, a male Gerudo is born and is destined to become their king without question.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Although it's kind of unusual, we don't ever know how Ganon first got his powers as a Gerudo thief.
Most Gerudo don't really have magic, so how did he get so powerful?
Maybe it's associated with the fact that he's the only male born once every 100 years.
It could be.
It's kind of like being the seventh son of a seventh son.
Oh, that's a lot of sons.
Yes.
But is he the seventh son of the seventh son? No, I don't think so.
That would not happen in the Gerudo race, not one bit.
No. Seventh son... Well, the first son of 6 daughters? Oh, something like that?
Okay, we'll roll with that.
Oh, yep, we'll go with that. Oh.
And I think to top it all off, after defeating Ganondorf in his castle and seeing him burst through the rubble, pull his hand up, and transform into the beast that we would know as the ultimate king of evil.
No descriptor needed, just Ganon. I remember this fight being absolutely terrifying. I didn't realize I should use the Megaton Hammer. I didn't have the big Oran Sword. So I was going there shooting him with light arrows, using all my magic, going, how do I beat this guy? How do I beat him? And I'm just spamming arrows. Oh,
I kind of lucked out. I was instinctive in using the light arrows on ahead, and then when he was stunned, I figured, why not use the hammer? It's all I've got.
See, that was, I don't know why I didn't think of it. I used it for Dark Link, but not for the King of Evil. Because what does a hammer do against a pigman who's literally like 8 times your size? Pitch black, glowing eyes, and 2 giant glowing swords that will rip your flesh off without hesitation.
And with the way he projects his voice, I would say bad breath as well.
Oh, horrible breath.
Yes.
But so satisfying is it to see that final scene just slice, stab, all the way through.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That would be a perfect screenshot for a Let's Play.
Oh, that would be the greatest picture for the finale of some Let's Play. Just sitting there with Link. All the way up to the hilt, straight through the eye. Right between the eyes. Oh.
Absolutely, but you better tone it down a bit because we've still got a little more information to cover.
Yeah, we do.
I think it's time to say goodbye to Hyrule and move on to the world of Termina. If you please, the magic words.
Kulu! Tingle, tingle, Kulu Limpa! I bugged out for a
Welcome
moment.
to Termina, the location of Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, the second topic of conversation in this episode of the ZeldaCast. Once again, I'll let you get the ball rolling.
Oh, I love this game. It's definitely in my top 3. That and Ocarina are 2 of my top 3. I don't know which one is number 1. I haven't ordered them yet, but Majora's Mask. So dark, so insanely creepy, and so freaking beautiful.
Absolutely. You have 72 hours to stop the moon from falling and crushing the world, specifically Clocktown.
Oh, yeah. I know. I remember when seeing that timer, I was like, what do I do? I'm on a time limit. Like, is there any way to extend the time limit? Is there any way to do this? And I'm freaking out.
And it gets worse when you get to the final day because the closer the moon gets, the more tremors start to shake the land.
Terrifying, just seeing your screen.
Exactly. And then with everybody else around the world, in the swamp, the mountains, the ocean, and the canyon.
Yeah. You just see how they react to it, and it's all just, like...
Not to mention their own problems.
Yeah, they have their own problems, but then they have to deal with, oh, hey, the world's going to end soon. We have 3 days. Make peace. That's a bit of a short timeline to make peace with yourself. 3 days.
Yeah, it is a short time. 72 hours.
72 hours is never enough. But yeah, I heard a theory that Link is actually dead throughout this whole journey. Throughout the whole journey of Majora's Mask, he is dead. People say he was killed during... Well, searching for a lost friend who we can pretty much assume to be Navi at this point.
Or Saria, perhaps.
Yeah, that is very true. It could be her. But...
Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to rule Saria out for this one, because let's not forget, in Ocarina of Time she awakened as the Sage of the Forest, so she's probably alive and well in the Sacred Realm, but not able to return to the real world, so I would rule her out just on those grounds alone.
That would be fair, sadly. As much as I love Saria, goodbye. But yeah, so what do you think of that theory?
Link being dead?
Yes.
But how?
How? People say he was killed by Skull Kid while searching for it, and some proof they have is the 5 stages of grief, and the fact that the whole game is essentially split into 4. Because 4 in Japanese, it sounds a lot like death. So they accompany that and make it relate. Then there's the 5 stages of grief, which I am sad to say is not 4, but 5. There's the denial part, which is Clocktown, who are like, oh hey, the moon's not going to fall. We're all just believing that it's going to fall, so it's not going to fall. Then there is anger, which would be the Deku King, who is just mad at everything. Look at the monkeys.
Oh, yes.
Then there would be bargaining, which is Darmani, begging for his life back, trading anything he could to get his life back so he could save his tribe. Depression, which is definitely in the Great Bay, with Lulu losing her eggs and her voice, so she is very, very obviously depressed.
One thing I have got to ask about Lulu and her depression.
Yeah?
Do you think the loss of her eggs and the loss of her voice would cloud seeing the fact that Mikau, her bandmate, actually died?
Oh, that is true. Yeah. I believe they did have a thing for each other, so I can believe that would be a harsh thing. But you have to remember that she never saw him die. And when you become Zora Link, everyone perceives you as Mikau. So they all think that he's still alive.
I don't think it's ever fully explained how Mikau actually did die.
Yeah.
He was found floating in the water, and that's about it.
I know in one of the comics I've read of it, he was caught by some fishermen, and then tossed out to sea after being horribly beaten.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Brutal.
That is just... Why would you do that to a person? Sure, he's half fish, but that's just mean. That's awful.
I think I can turn this around and make you smile again.
Okay.
Bit of trivia. Did you know that around the time that Majora's Mask was released, Jackson Guitars made a very special, custom-made, 7-string Zora guitar?
Oh, that sounds amazing. I want one. I don't know how to play guitar, but I would have that in my room, just like framed up on my wall.
I would be playing it non-stop. In fact, let's show it right here.
Da-da-da-da.
Beautiful thing. 7 strings, 1 pickup, 1 volume knob. The headstock is shaped like a fishtail. One lucky person won that guitar, and I am so jealous of that person.
Me too.
So please, if you're out there and you have that fishbone guitar, please send it to either one of us, because we will put it to good use and take very good care of it.
Oh, it would be so awesome to have that.
Indeed it would.
Oh.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
We were in the 5th stage of death. Or
The 5th stage of grief, which is acceptance, where you accept the fact that someone has died or you have died, and something like that, and that's symbolized by essentially Ikana Tower, which is the play on the Tower of Babel, which is supposed to be reaching upwards towards the gods, and you attain enlightenment with the light arrows.
And of course, more to the point, in the surrounding area is nothing but skeletons and Gibdos.
Yep, everything is dead. Even there is 2 people there. One of them is half dead. One of them is the daughter. And it's just like, I feel so bad for her. Her dad got turned into a half-dead zombie.
That is not pleasant.
No, it is not. That is horrible. That is so sad. Oh. But then you can play the Song of Healing and fix everything, so it all ends well.
Yes. If I had my Ocarina, I'd try and play that right now.
Shoot, that's what I forgot to bring. I have my Ocarina at home. I know I'm working on playing some more, but it's really fun.
Yes, I actually gave mine away as part of a contest giveaway on my channel.
Nice.
Yeah. And as far as the gameplay goes, for Majora's Mask, I find it just as fluent as Ocarina of Time.
Absolutely.
With the addition of using different abilities with each and every mask, especially with the bomb mask, because it's just so fun to put up a shield, make an explosion, and not take any damage from it.
Which makes no sense, because, oh hey, let's strap a bomb to my face, put something in front of me, and not get hurt.
I'm not going to question it. As long as you don't take damage, I'm fine with it.
Video game logic. That's how we'll explain it.
Yes.
Video game logic.
Although I don't like the Deku mask, because I find that little scrub you turn into totally useless.
I can believe that. I do like the idea of flying, though. You can, like, fly through the skies with giant flowers that he pulls out of nowhere. I don't know where he gets them from, but he can fly.
Okay, well, I'll give the Deku scrub that, but other than that, totally useless. The Darmani mask, great. Pack a powerful punch, go super fast while spinning around. And of course, Mikau's boomerang and sheer swimming speed.
Oh, the swimming speed and the electric force field you can get underwater.
Yes, I almost forgot about that.
A fish using electricity. We're sure they're not electric eels in fish.
And that's another thing that Majora's Mask had over Ocarina of Time. When you get the hook shot, it shoots long distances as opposed to getting a two-stage hook shot.
Mm-hmm. I love that, and I love the design of it too.
Absolutely.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
It looks really spiffy.
Oh yeah.
Of course, hookshot being one of my favorite tools of all time in the Zelda series.
Oh, absolutely. I've always loved the bows though, just like. I've always wanted a bow of myself.
Yes.
Or of my own. That's it.
And of course, we have to agree that the best thing about the game is probably Fierce Deity's Mask.
Fierce Deity's Mask.
The unfortunate thing is, you only have so many instances in which you can use it, so it's a rare treat whenever you do get to pull it out.
Oh, it feels so satisfying to pull out that double helix blade and just wreak havoc. You don't even know what you're swinging at. Unlimited magic, you're just swinging your sword and just hoping for the best.
That's right, Majora's Mask, we're looking at you.
Oh.
And that brings me up to my point of shame.
Oh.
This is my confession to you and to you viewers. I have never, ever beaten Majora's Mask without using the Fierce Deity's Mask. I know, it sounds bad, but that's the truth. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll actually manage to get it done. I know exactly where to go to strike the weak points, but Majora's Mask moves so bloody fast in his first form, and then he's no better when he goes to Majora's Incarnation and Majora's Wrath.
Oh, Majora's Wrath was terrifying.
But then again, when you beat him, and the world's saved, and you see that message, Dawn of a New Day, you know it's all worth it.
It is definitely worth it. And do not worry that you haven't beaten Majora's without the Fierce Deity Mask. It took me an hour.
Took you an hour.
Took me a full hour. It was brutally difficult, and I used a lot of arrows and a lot of magic.
I believe it.
And it sucks, because you don't even have the bunny hood at that point. You're rolling around, it's like, I don't have the bunny hood. Where's my bunny hood?
And aside from saving the world of Termina and making sure that nobody dies, the best thing about finishing the game is the fact that you don't have to endure Tattle anymore, because compared to Navi, she is an absolute nightmare of a companion.
I kind of like the sass of her, but other than that, she was just as annoying.
I did not like the sass, because my mother raised me better than that, and my mother would slap the taste right out of Tattle's mouth if given the chance.
Does Tattle even have a mouth? Isn't she just like a ball of light?
How else do you explain the speech that comes on the screen?
Touche. Touche, my friend.
You know, the more I think of things, the more I realize I miss Winnipeg. So,
yep,
back home we go. Oh, that was actually a little fun run through the 3D Zelda games on the Nintendo 64.
That was awesome.
If you could sum up our discussion in one simple statement, what would it be?
3D Zelda games on the N64 are absolute gold. And not just the casing either.
Well put. I almost forgot.
Yeah?
My copy of Majora's Mask actually is, in fact, that gold.
That's so cool, man.
And I don't intend to get rid of it anytime soon.
No,
although, if I'm feeling generous, I might lend it out to you sometime.
Yeah!
But that'll be for another time. Anyway, folks, that just about wraps it up. I'm Jeremy, this has been Gray, and you've been watching the ZeldaCast. And as we always say, may the Triforce be with you. See you later, guys. Peace out.